So good evening, welcome to the Donny Chaingang with me, Matt Payne, live here on the Down in Cycling YouTube channel. We've got lots going on this week, although there are only 2 rides, so that's a rest after last week with 3 great rides. A giveaway of Ben Swift's National Champs jersey, and of course Nutrition Talk by Annie Simpson. A massive thank you to Annie, one of our regular riders, and of course one of the key people down at OTE, one of the sponsors of the OTE gang, and one of the people who has been bringing lots and lots of giveaways and goodies to our riders. Now, that was last week, and that has been really busy, but this week we have a special week. It is Veloskin week here on the Donny Chaingang. That means that the people who keep us sitting comfortably on the bike saddle and making sure that we're all in one piece are looking after the chain gang as well. Now, if you remember the DCG gang, you can get some free samples. Now, if you haven't done this already, it's really simple. It's in the emails. We have 2 great samples here. As you can see, you get the soothing gel and you get the chamois cream sample. Now, normally you'd have to pay postage on the samples, but if you're a member of the DCG gang, then you get that absolutely free as well. Postage paid, everything straight to your door. So just get onto the email and have a check out on there. And we've got some great discounts as well. So, of course, being a member of the DCG gang gets you access to loads of great discounts. We've had 30% off OTE. We've got 10% off Halo Wheels. We've got Pretty Gritty, coffee from Grand Tour Coffees, you name it. But with Veloskin, we've got a discount on that as well, and any of the purchases you make. And, of course, a fantastic giveaway from Chris and the gang. And you might have seen Chris riding on the Chain Gang, and it's been great to see him in action out on the Chain Gang and riding and actually practicing what he preaches, because he's rather quick, to be honest. So he's obviously a keen user of the product, a keen user of the Chain Gang. It's a perfect match. So if you do buy something from them as a member of the gang, then make sure you use that discount code, get that discount off. Now, we have a giveaway to do tonight before we get in touch with Russ. And what we're going to do is we are going to pull a raffle draw, basically. It's a modern version of the same thing that you always used to call out when you stood on the stage. I still do for a living, but this is the draw for some fantastic products. So we have a £50 voucher going out to the first number drawn, and then we have 2 sets of what are fantastic tubs. These are the best things since sliced bread. Now, I raced at the weekend. Don't mention the one disqualification, but the 2 other good rides, the Saturday and the Sunday, were really good. And 2 things needed. First of all, this chamois cream. This is just absolutely superb stuff. It's brilliant. There's no 2 ways about it. And this stuff, soothing gel. This is the best thing ever for your legs after a sprint session up a hill. I can guarantee it, and they're going to need it tonight. Now, so second and third place, 2 tins of this. Now, this is 30 quid's worth of kit, and that's going to be going out as well. So we're going to draw that now. The members know who they are and what their numbers are. So let's head over to the giveaway, the wonderful random number generator that should appear right there. As if by magic, it works. Fantastic. So the random number generator is going to give us 3 numbers. First number out, £50 voucher to spend on what you want from the gang down at Veloskin. Second and third, get the giveaway of the 2 tubs. So let's get the generator randomly stopping. So let's see what number it's going to generate tonight for the first winner. The first prize winner is number 48. So number 48 is going to be Ewan McLeod. That is a young man who definitely needs it. He's a fast growing and getting some serious mastering. So a youngster starting off his racing career. That's great. Let's start the generator again. So that's our first prize. So he's got £50 worth of products. So he can choose what it is. It might be that he needs to shave off all those fantastic locks he's got. No, I'm jealous of his hairstyle, but I suggest using it on your legs instead, mate. Right, second prize coming out for the DCG gang members. And let's stop it randomly about, I don't know, now. And that is going to be number 81. Number 81, come in, number 81. Your time is up. 81 is going to be a Keith Richards. So, Keith, well done, mate. You're going to be having the soothing gel and the chamois cream, which leaves us 1 more to draw tonight. So let's fire the generator 1 more time tonight, and then let's see what the third number of the 3 will be here on the first giveaway on Veloskin week. So let's stop it for one last time tonight, And it's going to be at number 23. Number 23 is Charlie Babbitt. So, Charlie, you are our third winner of the night. So, numbers 48, 81 and 23. Ewan McLeod, Keith Richards and Charlie Babbitt. Guys, you've won. We'll be in touch with you very shortly. We've got another draw on Thursday. If you want to be in it to win it, as the saying goes, you need to join the DCG gang, the Donny Chaingang Supporter Club, because these guys, you can see them up at the top of the screen, the DCG gang that runs across there, the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club, they are the guys who keep the wheels turning and the show on the road. So a massive thank you to them, and a massive thank you to the guys at Veloskin, not just for enabling me not to get too much of a kick in at the weekend, courtesy of these two, but of course for giving all of our members of the DCG gang a little freebie for every single member, and of course the great giveaways we've got today and on Thursday's ride. Now these three that have won, they're not eligible on Thursday, so that's their prizes done and dusted with. We'll be pulling 3 more out next Thursday. Now to tonight's ride, and we thought because it's Veloskin we'd do 2 rides, 2 pretty tough rides. We are going to kick it off, first of all, with a trip round Yorkshire. So the first one is pretty gritty, it has to be said. Now, we've used a gritty name before because it was a fantastic clothing supplier, Pretty Gritty, who have been looking after the members of DCG gang. We've used that before for the mountain bike, but this is gritty in a Yorkshire sense, in that this is a grim and gritty course. It is one of the toughest routes I think we have ever picked for the DCG gang, and one man who's going to know all about that is Russ Downey. So let's get hold of Russ, hopefully on the end of the phone line. Are you there, young Russell?
Oh, I like you, Matthew. Young Russell. I haven't been called that in a while.
Well, you are just fractionally younger than me. I say fractionally, like quite a large fraction, like 9/10, but you know. So, Russ, what's the plan tonight? We have our toughest ride going just about.
Yeah, it's tough. I'm not quite sure. You know, obviously it's the opposite way. I'm not quite sure if the long downhill section does you a favour, or it makes it even harder as well, because you know the hills are still there. But yeah, it's normally brutal when we do the opposite way around here. So this is a first for the DCG to do it the opposite way. So yeah, let's have some fun. And usually, you know, 1 lap stay together, 2nd lap little squeeze, a little ramp, and then I wait for the old go, and then it's who dares wins, isn't it? You know, we've all, well, not all, but a lot of people have been up around Yorkshire on the roads around where the Tour de France was, around where the Tour de Yorkshire, the World Championships was. So yeah, it's all good fun.
And a lot of our riders that we say they've been out on the roads, I've ridden it both directions, and both directions, it looks to me like it is going to be the hardest, because it's steeper, isn't it? If this way round, we've got steep, sharp climbs with a gradual drop, rather than it being a gradual climb with a steep drop down.
I don't know which is hardest. Easy, get over with quick and then fly down the other side, but it's Yorkshire and it's the DCG, so it ain't going to be easy. It'll just be pure torture. Only for the last lap anyway. You know, we'll look after each other for the first 2 and then get the job done.
Yep, definitely. It's going to be interesting. We've got a downhill finish, so if people are coming into the finish in the small group, they're going to need to have the wits about them, and it's going to be quick, isn't it?
Yeah, so we normally go straight up that climb, which, you know, hurts the gang. But on the way home on the running, you're going to probably see people in the distance, and you might be able to bridge that group. But we all know that, you know, on Zwift, going solo's the hard way. So, you know, stick to in the group, and you might come back and get a chance at the old checkered flag.
Well, that's going to be interesting to see who takes that. And, of course, remember, if you are dropped, and I almost guarantee pretty much everybody, unless they are basically a pro, are not going to be in with the chance of a finish, or they should have been a pro, could have been a pro, or wants to be a pro so badly that they're maybe a little bit later than they should be. No one's going to be in there. the groups are going to be critical, aren't they? And everyone needs to ride in a group because the long downhills do give you the advantage on the draft, don't they?
Yeah, no, I think people need to look after me today. You know, I snuck out at a late hour. Went out for a quick power hour with Briggsy, and yeah, he's still going well. You know, squeezing his little efforts and that. So yeah, it's all good fun. But you know, we should have a good night. And yeah, big thank you to Veloskin as well for supporting the week. And see, you just pulled 3 names out there, was it?
3 names indeed. We've got young Ewan McLeod, we've got Keith Richards, and Charlie Babbitt.
Congratulations, guys, and yeah, fill your basket with that Veloskin product.
Indeed, and on that note, I'm going to run away and let you concentrate on briefing the troops, and let's show everybody where we're heading tonight.
Cheers, mate. Have a good one.
And you. So a massive thank you to Russ, who is currently getting ready with the baggy tubes going out as well. Now, let's show you where you're heading. This is one of my favourite parts of town. Growing up in North Leeds, Harrogate was always on the way through, and I have raced around bits of this circuit and got a kick in on the reliability runs around this circuit more times than I care to remember. And it was a lot skinnier then, it has to be said, like probably 2/3 my body weight now. Definitely. So let's show you where we're heading. We are heading out to Harrogate Reverse, and as you can see, it's the same shape as our standard Harrogate course. We're covering 43k with a lead in of 0.0 kilometres. We come from the chevrons by the orange dot. We come on and then we go around the circuit in an anti-clockwise direction. Now it's 3 times the course, which is 13.8k long, which means that we finish at the lap banner of 41.4k. There's a warm down of 1.6 kilometres, and although it shows you the sprints and it shows you the KOM and it shows you quite a bumpy profile even for the Zwift maps, the Zwift Hacks maps, it doesn't give you the whole story. And the 2 people who are going to be really busy with this are going to be Yellow Beacon, that is Russ, and Russ down, of course, X-Pro, and of course our Red Beacon, that is Johnny, 2 Dogs Lightfoot, and Johnny, of course, a regular on the Chaingang, a master with the airbrush and the air gun, and certainly looking forward to seeing how he gets on marshalling the troops. There should be a well-presented group running around at the back. It's going to be the poshest bus at the back, that is for sure. Now, why is he going to be busy? Well, this, ladies and gents, is why he's going to be busy. Let's, fellow viewer, show you exactly what we mean. This is what we're faced with. This is on exactly the same height scale that we use every week. We keep it consistent. So this is exactly the same scale in terms of height as normal. We start just above the end of the R of Velo Viewer at the end there, just before the Powered by Strava. And we start into a downhill section, which is 4.8%. We drop down to just above the V of Strava. We then come around this little slight loop at the bottom before climbing up towards the sprint point, which is an uphill climb in towards the sprint. We drop back down again, and then we climb up and drop down. But the bit that everybody's going to be scared of is the red section. We do not show you just how tough this is until we get out on course, because we can't physically show you. 13.9% on the red section. That is going to make life very, very difficult indeed for our riders, and that is why we have to be super, super careful on the way out of, and try and keep everybody together as we head out onto the course, because that 13% climb is going to be a killer. You can then see it roller coasters back in to the finish. Now, this is the same scale as we normally use, and it gives you a real indication of just how tough this course is going to be. 720 metres of climbing. Now, our riders look like they are just heading out on circuit, and there's going to be strength in numbers today. So the aim today is definitely going to be to stay out on the circuit and keep an eye on each other. We're going to be keeping an eye on everybody as they head out. And I think it looks to me like the riders already just heading out on circuit. Indeed, they are. Just got Andy Horse, who is out on course in the sights of our helicopter camera. And remember, guys, you aim to stick with yellow until we head out and around. So let's jump in here on the Down Cycling YouTube channel, live with me, Matt Payne, out onto a circuit with the Donny Chaingang. So here we go, out on circuit with the Chaingang. Our riders heading out and around the loop now. They've come down the downhill start. They're just coming in to the little loop climb here, and it is a tough little climb this. Let's see if we can drop in with Andy here. So we've just got the drone cam flying today. Great news. Took a little bit of getting off the ground today, but it's here with us, and Andy's in there in his Assos kit, running on a very nice Pinarello there, and good to see Andy in action now. Climbing up on to the top of the bump. We're soon going to go over the top of the crest of this as we go through the suburbs of Harrogate. Our drone wiping out most of the stone walls in this rather posh part of town, it has to be said. Still proper Yorkshire though, out there. So just see all these riders all nicely bunched in and around Russ as we head up towards the crest here. We're going to drop down, take the left-hand turn, and then it's going to be a slight right in to the climb. Now, riders to keep an eye on. We've got, of course, Man and Lloyd here from GCN in the group, and we've got a lot of the gang as well, the Donny Chaingang supporters club in here. Andy Horse, Owen Fletcher in this group, and it looks to me like Owen in his traditional kit here. Owen riding nicely, 152 watts at the moment, 143 beats per minute, going well at the minute. Let's keep an eye on these riders as they now start to make their way up. So this is the run into what would normally be the sprint. Just riding in with Sarah Lomas. Got to be a favourite on this course, it has to be said. Sarah, one of our fastest riders when it comes to going uphill. Looks like she's got some relatively lightweight wheels. Not got the ultimately lightweight, but definitely got the lightest frame. And that's going to come in handy as we go up onto the climb. This 4% drag up towards the sprint line is only a mere aperitif before we hit the main course and the big hills still to come. Let's take a little run through. Tristan from Harrogate is definitely going to be a rider to keep an eye out on home roads here, Tristan. So Tristan's going to be interested to see if Tristan can take the honours here. You'll know this course backwards. He probably hates a bit like I did if it was all the roads that I used to ride on. And Tristan in here, another member of the DCG gang, the Donny Chaingang supporters club as well. Craig Herring in the mob, but let's drop, see if we can drop back to Johnny. So at the moment, just riding with our red beacon. This is Johnny Lightfoot in his traditional red and black, and on the Pinarello as well. Good to see him in action, and looks like he's just working to sweep one or two riders up. Looks like the chairman of Bolsover and District is in his sights at the moment, so let's take a little bit of a look, because I think Connor is likely to be seeing him. Mr. Tickhill is in here, so Johnny just working his way past him. Tickhill just jumping onto the back of Johnny Lightfoot here. Ian Bibby just a little bit further back, getting a little bit of a dropout, but I'm sure Bibbs will be back in action. McGuigan just getting onto the back of the group. Darren Topless doing the same, and looks like Mr. Ketteringham is in here. Good to see that you've updated your age. Young Mr. Gilmore's in here now. Don't expect Gilmore to be in here for very long. Gilmore definitely one of our fastest riders. He might be young, but he's incredibly quick. That is for sure. Now let's take a little bit of a run through. Looks like Russ sitting in here. What's Russ's heartbeat doing? Not bad for an old fella. 105 beats per minute. And as you can see, our riders really are glad that they are not pushing into this climb in any competitive way, quite simply because it will make life difficult later on. There's enough hills, there is enough hard work to be done out on course today without making it any harder. Now we're just taking a look at our riders, and looks like Johnny just marched into the back of the bunch. One or two riders just getting a dropout. Looks like Aaron Voice with a dropout there. May well have dropped the phone. That won't be the first time we've had that happen to a rider. Good to see Mr. Tickhill sitting on the wheel of the red beacon. Remember, the aim is to get out together as one group. The bunch, as far as everybody's concerned, basically starts with Russ now. Let's have a look. Professional, ex-professional rider, ex-national champion Ian Bibby in the group here. And Bibby looking super smooth at the moment, just ticking around 65 revs per minute, 215 watts. And good to see young Mr. Bibby in the group there. I must be feeling old today. I'm calling everybody young. It's not a good sign. So let's take a little bit of a hunt through some more of our riders in this group. It is pretty busy in around this group. And seen Alex Forrester in here. Looks like Bale in here. Just jumping in with one of our new members of the DCG gang, joining for April already, Emma Lyseka Ennis. And Emma currently riding around on a bike with the limited number of gears, so we're going to see how Emma goes on today with the hills that are in there. Emma, of course, a new member of the DCG gang. And don't forget, of course, we're looking for all of our members to join the gang, because quite simply, that's how you get access to all of the links every time. They get delivered direct to your inbox the second that we have them. They come out generally on the weekend before the ride. If you're just joining a ride one at a time, they generally open on the Monday evening, and they open for the week. But of course, we obviously will prioritise the guys in the DCG gang. Now you can see it's just a little bit spread out here in front of us. Plenty of people just rolling back, just trying to let the group reform. Very difficult to do. And Russ just trying to keep those watts nice and steady, because he's got quite a group just waiting, just now dropping in behind. Let's keep an eye. Looks like Clark is in here. So Mick Clark, another DCG gang member in the group, looks to be sitting comfortably, clearly using that Veloskin sample that would have come free out to all of our members. And Mr. Clark looking very good, very lightweight frame. You'll see a predominance of these grey and red frames, because they are super duper light compared to pretty much anything else. They're even lighter than the ones where the handlebars have a habit of falling apart. So watching him on his way up here, looking very good. Just keeping an eye on a few more of the riders in here. Just rolling around at the back, it is the place to be. And good to see Andy's back in here. Now, Andy's probably dreading me telling you the story, but if you follow Andy on Instagram, you will have seen some amazingly brilliant pictures of Andy. Because not only is Andy a star man when it comes to the Tour of Britain, and of course working with Mick Bennett, used to dealing with old relics. He's dug up another old relic and took it to the Antiques Roadshow. So interesting to see Andy on the roadshow. Apparently there was lots of closet roadshow fans coming out and saying hello to Andy immediately after. If you haven't watched it, watch it. It's very good. And make sure you follow Andy on Instagram as well. Not just pictures of that amazing Pinarello, but lots of insights as well from Andy on the Instagram channel. And great to see Andy getting lots of miles in. I'm very jealous, definitely. Now, one man who we've all got to be thankful for this week is a certain Mr. Chris Iredale. Easier to hit than said. No worries, Andy. Andy just saying thank you there. Is Chris. So Chris Iredale, one man who wasn't eligible for the prize draw from our members. Chris, of course, the main man for Veloskin, and it is of course Veloskin week here on the Chaingang. So we have the gritty ride today, the pre-application of your Veloskin products today, and then we've got the super smooth ride on Thursday. It's so smooth, we've ironed out all the bumps, because it is the complete polar opposite of today's course. Today's course, it is hilly. It's hilly as hell. There's no other description for it. We're actually on the reverse KOM at the moment, just dragging our way up towards the top before the big drop down. But these are all nothing, as nothing compared to the hills that are still to come. But don't forget, We then changed it all around, because if this is a course for the lightweight climbers, then Thursday is a course that is suited for somebody a little bit bigger, because it is so smooth. It's as smooth as your legs once you shaved them using Veloskin's shaving cream and product. And that is because we're at Tempest Fuji in Watopia. 3 laps of that, it is going to be one of our fastest, smoothest rides that we will have. How to courtesy of Veloskin. That's on Thursday. So we've got the before and after. This is definitely the before, because this, as you can see, our riders on the way up currently 10 minutes 32 on the clock, 4.9k. So let's see how these riders get on. Chris looking good, and we are going to watch just how fast this descends. Remember, everybody at the moment knows that there is lots of course still to go, and remember, this is a real grim section of course if you're coming the other way. This is the King of the Mountains coming the other way, and this is where we traditionally see the winning moves go when you come back in. It's not going to be the case today because we're a long way out. Remember, it's a 13.8k lap. Let's jump in with a few more of our riders. Looks like Mr. Russ is on the Chaingang here, and just making his way on the Chaingang here, looking pretty smooth in the green and white. John Garfer in here, Darren Topless from Sherwood Pines. Darren, of course, a winner, I think, of the OTE products. The Orange Hydro has the pre-launch coming out. And Charlie Babbitt is here. So, Charlie Babbitt, let's get Charlie. Here he is, winner of one of our Veloskin prizes, our prize bundles today. So Charlie Babbitt in here. So well done, Charlie, and we'll be getting in touch with your prizes. So Charlie Babbitt, one of our winners on the Chaingang, the members giveaway, already in here now. As you can see, we're just going to jump up with a helicopter. This is the rundown from the King of the Mountains around the turn, and we're now going to go up the far side. As Mr. Russ has clearly got his feet out doing a Mary Poppins on the way down. I dare you, mate. I dare you. I want a picture. I really do. So the group is fracturing and reforming, and this is where it really is good practice. Now, we've seen this week, it's been up on the Facebook pages of the group, of the Donny Chaingang group, some of our women doing amazingly well. Charlotte Coldclough and Lily Swan coming and riding the Chaingang time and time again. They have been 1 and 2 out in the women's competition on Zwift, and one of the things that has helped, I wouldn't say it's the only thing, but it's definitely one of the things that they both say has helped, is riding the Chaingang, because it's great practice. That's one of the reasons why I have such a variety of courses on the Donny Chaingang, and that is because what we aim on doing is giving our riders plenty of practice in terms of how to ride in a bunch. It's so important to be able to stay in the draft, to time your effort properly. And remember, of course, that's all about holding on nice and smoothly until you get to the time it's time to G-O-G-O-G-O. I'm not going to say it because I don't want to say anybody's legs twitching early. But as you can see, our rider's now up on to this climb. Just riding with Charlie Babbitt, who's just sitting around Russ here. We're just going to drop in with a few more of our regulars. Looks like Sam Evans is in here. Matt Bostock in this group. Matt, a regular on the Chaingang, and we expect to see him on a few podiums, just in there on the mountain bike at the moment. So Mr. Bostock going for a bigger workout. If you want a tougher workout, don't forget, you can always ride the mountain bike around the circuit like Matt is. That is a brave move, mate. Clearly not fancying doing the hills on his standard bike here. Now, just jumping across to another rider I know very well. This is Beth Crumpton. Now, Beth, of course, a great rider off-road. And Beth riding for the Cyclocross Syndicate, the team run by my co-host on the Crosscast. That is, of course, Bruce Dalton. And Bruce's team, the Cyclocross Syndicate, having a rider in the group here. Not seen Bruce for a little while, but Bruce, of course, a regular on the Chaingang. This is Liam Callaway. Liam in here in the group, probably in the grey, if I know anything. Yep, there he goes. And just ticking those wheels around on that Pinarello. 86 revs per minute, 118 the heart rate at the moment. So going to take a little bit of a hunt around some more of our riders. Looks like Atkinson in this group. Mr. Pillsworth in here. Just Nice steady riding by this group as we make our way up to Squirrel Roundabout, also known as, of course, it is going to be the one and only Struggle HQ. And spoke to Matt during the week, and Matt's starting to recover from what was a pretty bad crash out with Giles Pickup. The two riders out on the road came down really heavy, and it's going to be interesting to see how he keeps on recovering, because he's already looking much more like his normal self is, Matt, and great to see the guys up on the top of the climb as they come over and past the Squirrel Roundabout. Struggle HQ. This is now the drop down to Pot Bank. Now, this is the run into the steepest part of the climb. Just riding in with John Garfer at the moment. Just going to drop in, just working our way around some of our riders in here, just in with Lovett at the moment. So when we hit the bank on the far side, this is somewhere where I've raced down a number of times. I've ridden up it much more limited number of times because it's blooming horrible hill, this. It is high on my list of hills that you don't do in training unless you really have to. It is 13+%. It is not the easiest of climbs to do. This should suit a certain Jess Evans. Jess, of course, former national hill climb champion, should be at home as she heads up on to the climb. This is the slight riser before we drop down into the bank, and Jess has been missing out on the DCG. Love that I'll teach you to stay in Wales during lockdown and not come and ride the Donny Chaingang, Jess. So Jess now on the final section of this descent as we go over. Now, in real life, there isn't quite this same gorge off to the side. I have to say that it doesn't, I've not ever known it steam when the waterfalls steam like that. However, this is how steep, and it is this shape, and I have seen plenty of riders come off on these hairpins when we've been racing down it, particularly this will go in the opposite direction. It is brutal. Now, as you can see, the gradient really has kicked in. In fact, I'm sure I just saw a 17% section on this climb. Our drone able to fly under the ground at the minute. So just taking a little bit of a look in, you can see just how steep this is. The group at the moment are working hard, and they're not making too much ground on the way up this hill. And you can see if we take a fly down to the side of the riders, we're still at 12% here. So this climb, it is steep, it's brutal. It starts off at its steepest, it comes around the hairpin, and it keeps on going. Now, what happens is it levels off, and in real life, as you go over the top, you think it's easing. It's not that much. It is absolutely grim. Now, if you've got a great turbo train or something like a Wahoo, this is going to be really gripping down on the brakes. It's going to be clamping down on that bike, and it is going to be making life incredibly hard for you. This is really going to rip your legs up. This is a reason why Yorkshire is so tough, and it's one of the reasons we breed very hard riders in Yorkshire, it has to be said, because they have to put up with getting up stuff like this all too regularly. Now, this is just ascent number one. We still have two more ascents after this, and it is a properly brutal climb. This is the hardest course, in my opinion, that we would use on the Chaingang. I fully expect this to be absolutely blown to pieces, and it's great to see even Jess suffering on the way up here. So it's going to need a regroup over the top. I think that goes without saying. Just seeing young Mr. Woodbridge, one of our members of the DCG gang in here, riding the Tron bike. Not the fastest bike on this circuit. And that's simply because of the sheer amount of climbing on here. So it looks like the farmers are just on the side there. There you go. And he's clapping just at the right time. You see, you don't get that on any of the other courses in Swift. You don't get someone on a tractor sat at the side of the course giving you applause. But that is real life out here in Yorkshire. So another rider who's going to know these roads so well. Just seeing go through Dan Ladle in the group. Just jumping in with Dan now. When I raced against Dan, Dan was a skinny whippet little kid. He's looking slimmer all the time at the moment. Oh, Luke Taylor. You're going to have a bad time. Luke Taylor has not not turned down the 100% on the turbo. That means that he's going to be almost at a standstill on the way around now. Let's jump in with somebody else. Another Taylor, no relation. It is Ian Taylor. So Ian in here, Ian of course of 1080, responsible for Oakley August. And don't forget, you need to be a member of the DCG gang in April. Why do you need to be in there? Because we've got Halo giveaways, because we've also got the wonderful man that is Ian Taylor bringing you some more 1080 goodness. We're not going to have Oakley August. We are going to have Here Comes the Sun. And that is because, of course, 1080 is your stop, the one-stop shop to go get some shades. Remember, doesn't matter whether you want Oakleys or similar, well, your perchance is whether it is Sutros or whether you are looking for a set of frog skins, or whether you want something to lounge about in the beach or to ride the bike on. Make sure you get on there. Support the people who support your sport, because remember, these are the guys who make it happen. And Ian, of course, a really strong supporter of the Donny Chaingang from the word go, and great to see him in action and riding really very strongly over the top of the climb. Hopefully he's not listening in. He's going to need some extra large Oakleys to get over his head if I'm not careful. So over the top of the climb, and this group just fractured outwards. We're going to work our way back through, and as you can see, this line, remember, we're only able to show 100 riders at a time. That's one of the parts of the game. We're going to drop into Mr. King. King just being distance is going to have to push to get onto the back of the group at the moment. So King, one of our new members, I think this is going to be Rory just on the back of the group here. So just going to check that this is Rory in the group, and Rory, one of our new members of the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club, and it's just getting the word for Craig Herring, I think, has dropped back, so giving the shout for Rory to jump on, and the back of the bunch is only 2 seconds, so looks like he's going to get there. Rory King pushing hard to get onto the back of the group. This is fantastic stuff. This is what we want to see, the chain gang working together. This is the key way for the route to happen. This is what we're looking for. So nice move there by King, jumping on to the group there. We're going to jump in with Johnny Two Dogs, and Johnny now up on to the climb, just following what looks like Mark Tickhill. Has got Keith Richardson in front as well. So Johnny Two Dogs are red beacon on the climb. Then it's going to be Tickhill here pushing on up at the climb. In front is then going to be Richardson. Richardson out of the saddle here. So Richardson on that lightweight back and with the lightest wheels in the game as well. And then it's going to be Mushett in here. So it looks like Mushett is going to be chasing Andrews. Andrews looks like he's dropped out. There's going to be Turnbull. So Turnbull just pushing onwards here. Has come up over the top. Then it's going to be a Woodall. Woodall just about able to see that yellow beacon on this long drag. Then it's going to be Wharfdale Phil. Phil again, just a distance. He's got riders behind, so he's got to make the decision. Does he push on? Looks like Davis in the group. I think it's going to be Kai Davis in the back. Kai, of course, one of our really fast riders, and just watch him run it. I suspect get a drop out there because he went from 0 to 4.5 watts very quickly. Ian Knight's just on the back of the group. Saysel and Daughtry in there as well. So we just see the riders coming around. We're just keeping an eye on those lap times, because at the moment the UCI World's Reverse will tell us the laps as soon as somebody goes across the line to complete lap number 1. It should show on our screen. So at the moment, nobody, contrary to rumour, has yet got round the route so far and started lap 2. So not sure who was giving out that fake news, but according to our screens and according to the guys watching who we have, because we have riders out and round in and amongst the watching. So if you think you're alone up the front, you're not. We do have some bodies out on course, riding with the riders virtually and keeping an eye on everybody who is likely to play silly what's it's out there. And we do record them all as well, just to make sure. At the moment, nobody having got round the lap at the moment. So, Sonia Inslee, you are actually on Otley Road in. Young lady, you're about to hit Otley Road in, so this is very near Otley indeed. It is somewhere near there. Come on, Sonia. You're better at hills than that and better at courses than that. I know you are. So it looks like Joe Jarvis, another of our members of the DCG gang, nicely sitting in the back of this. And Sonia remembers the Chevin. I remember the Chevin too. It's a horrible place. Steep, big, hilly. Double hill climb up the Chevin and Norwood Edge. Otley CCs. Didn't do bad in that. I think it was top 5 once on a bad day or on a good day. So just in with Ethan Grimshaw, young Mr. Grimshaw, one of the supporters of the Chaingang from the early days. Good to see he's in the group here. Just pushing on this slight descent. Remember, of course, it is a real roller coaster in, but as you can see, if we flick the top of the map, this is going to be the run down. You can just see the hilltop King of the Mountains just on the side, so just keeping an eye on the riders. They drop down, just riding in with Ethan Grimshaw at the moment as we make our way down here. 64 kph, 4%, so we're over that magical 58 kph and -3, which means that you can super tuck in the game. Zwift not following the UCI on this, and it is possible, but it's risky because the moment it goes sort of to -3 or more gradual, so -2 or -1, or the speed drops below 58 kph, you're in trouble because you will get dizziness. So you don't want to super tuck much beyond this. Just keeping an eye on who's tucking. I think Ian Brooks at the moment in the tuck position and going to lose ground very shortly. So just seeing Ethan jumping back out of the super tuck position. Thank you very much, Ethan, as we go over. Really tricky to get the timing absolutely spot on. Now, this is going to be our run into the finish. So let's quickly jump in with Ethan's view as he comes down here. So just rolling in with Ethan. It's going to take the left-hand turn. Here we go. So it's going to be 2 laps to go. And remember, this is the run into the finish. So we are 1 lap down, 1 lap still to go. Our bunch charging in to the line as we speak. So through the line our riders go, and looks to me like everybody all packed together. No time to call in at Betty's. That includes you, Russ. So going up to 3 watts per kilo, looking after the blob. Nice big group around here. Looks like Jess Learmouth's back with us. Good to see you, Jess. So now, Jess Learmouth, one of our very fast riders out on the circuit. She was a rider who we knew would be in at the finish as we come diving down to the left-hand turn. You see just how fast this circuit is this way round in terms of the long down hills. However, the uphills are brutal, and that's going to be typified. Quick right-hand turn coming up, and we're going to see our riders on the ascent just riding in with Learmouth at the moment, who's just on the far side of the road there in that plum-coloured top. Just making our way up on to this slight rise. It's then a left turn and it steepens just a fraction before going over the top, dropping down. Remember, this is the small loop of the 2, and this is the one that includes our sprint line. But this group rolling around with Russ doing exactly the right thing, keeping it together. There is strength in numbers. It is a much, much faster way to get round this circuit by staying together than it is on your own. Like many circuits, that's going to be even more true when you come to Thursday's route as well. Now, just keeping an eye. Looks like Mark Grant in here. Grant riding in, another of our riders who has improved time on time. And Mark sitting in this group. He's gone for quite an aero bike by the look of it. And that'll help him as we come charging through now. We're on the long road up to the sprint at the moment. Slight drop down, and then it's going to climb really quite quickly as we come up through here. And at the moment everybody is sitting nice and comfortably around Russ. These riders working well. Just jump in with Mr. Forrester, Alex Forrester, becoming a regular on the Chaingang. His equipment on the bike is improving, and I'm sure he geeked out when he managed to get himself onto the drop shop. Certainly got some better wheels. So this is a nice pack, all rolling around together, rolling with Russ at the moment. Mr. Noel in here as well. Beth Crumpton sitting in the group. Clippo's in here. Gurnhill's in here. Looks like Nick Dorsey, John Hines in here. Just trying to stay in with this pack. There's a lot of riders in here. So just going to try and jump in with Johnny Two Dogs, and Johnny is our red beacon. So Johnny now on the rundown, chasing Tickhill and Richardson, Mushet, Turnbull, Andrews and Co. So Johnny Two Dogs diving down towards Tickhill. And Tickhill just in front. Then it's going to be Richardson. Then Mushet is going to be the rider 32 seconds in front. So that's a fair gap in front. Just going to be coming in towards the line in that fast descent. You can just see on your map the red beacon behind on that zoomed out. Just chasing a couple of riders. Then it's going to be Turnbull just in front, who's taken that right-hand turn onto the climb where we followed Jess Learmouth, and Andrews. Rich Shade is going to be in front at a couple of minutes. Wolfdale Phil. It's got Woodall for company, so already seeing a duo forming between these two riders. They're going to be taking advantage of that. So just seeing our lead riders coming in and through the sprint. Those times ticking in. I suspect Kieran, if I know Kieran, will have come from the back of the group to the front. He knows how to play this game, that is for sure. Then it's going to be Woodall, who is just up the road here. He's got a couple of riders in his sights with Pleasance and Hopkinson, who are working hard to close down Bolt and Scales. In fact, it's Bolt, Scales and Crehan as well. They've got Taylor not all that far in front as well, so it looks like Ruth Taylor is not all that far in front of that group. You can just see this pack chasing behind. It's a good group behind. Then looks like Sykes on here, so the pace starting to take its time. We are 17, nearly 18k into one of the toughest circuit, and this is where it pays to get those groups together. Now just taking a hunt in here. Looks like Bob the Builder's in the duo here. 3 riders behind. I think we've got Kennedy, Sykes and Dixon chasing Taylor a little bit further back with Woodall and Johnny Two Dogs currently about 440, but this could make a really handy pack here. Could be 5 riders together. Remember, the more riders that you can club together and get a group together, the quicker you're going to be. Now they are going down into the sharp right hand turn. They're about as far away from the turn as Russ, our yellow beacon, is out of that turn. And looks like this group of 5, they're going to see at least another rider up the road, and this is going to be Vesia in the front, another member of the DCG gang onto the climb. You can see just that tiny little kicker. It's a steep start to go into these climbs. So as the red beacon takes a turn onto the circuit, this group taking some momentum there past VC. She's going to have to try and jump on to the back. If she misses that group, we've got 2 more riders coming not all that far behind here with Woodall, Ruth Taylor, Pleasant, Scales and Co. trying to get onto the back of the Lovett, Kennedy, Bob the Builder group. 6 seconds in front of them is Craig Herring. So Craig is looking good. Craig trying to work his way up here. So Craig Herring just trying to chase down Dan Ladle. Dan trying to get on the back of this duo, and this is going to be Edgar and Lily, I think. So Edgar just behind in the blue, Lily in the red. Then it's going to be Elliot sitting at the back of this pack. So looks like he's working well. So Elliot at the back of the pack at the moment. Ian Bibby sitting a little bit further back, and if we take a look back from these guys, they are working hard. Our Red Beacon, though, now coming up around onto the corner here. Going to take the left-hand turn onto the sprint line, so that gives you an indication of just how far around it is. So our Red Beacon currently sitting at 15k. We're going to take a little bit of a run up the road towards our Yellow Beacon, and the Yellow Beacon is going to be sitting at about 18.5k on circuit. We're just jumping in with John Garfoot at the moment, another member of the DCG gang, the Donny Chaingang supporters mode. So Craig Herring in here. Craig, of course, one of those riders benefiting from the OTE talks as a member of the DCG gang. Good to see Craig in there and to put a face to a name, and I'm sure he was glad there was no fish oil, no omega-3 in the OTE range. So just rolling towards the back of the group, looks like Woodall sitting in the back here, just pushing on to the back wheels here. Did a good job of coming in from the back. It looks like a late join for Mr. Woodall at 12k, so he's got a bit of a advantage on some of our riders there as he makes his way in. Chris Idale in this group from Veloskin. He is. Let's see if we can catch him. Oh, he's too fast for me at the moment. So it looks like he's just working well. Waterhouse just in front here of Russ, and Waterhouse looking good. So a Waterhouse alongside Russ, down in Russ, of course. So let's have a look at what kit Russ has got on the bike. Russ, why on earth did you pick the rims and a disc? So over we go, and another set of PRs from the bunch. What a surprise! The group is quickest, the fastest way to go. Looks like Russ is saying the training wheels. To have a set of disc wheels, full stop. Never mind training wheels. I had to borrow a set of disc wheels. The only time I raced the World's Masters track, I borrowed a disc rear wheel and a Karima front. And I was riding around. I did the Kieran, and then we did the sprint, and I wondered why I was doing such a slow sprint qualifying time until I got off the track and the back wheel cones had locked up solid. So that disc wheel advantage definitely didn't work on that World's Masters. After that I gave up and had a beer in the track centre and got told off by a commissaire again. What a surprise. Right, let's have a little look at our group in here. Enough of me reminiscing. We're on this big descent on the way down in towards the turn at the bridge here, just with Dowtree. Cones, what are they? Yeah, Russ doesn't know that. He had mechanics all his life. Mind you, I'd never looked at them either. I think it was a Karima disc, if I remember right. Karima disc and a Karima track front. Bad move. Bad move. Should just stay with me old-fashioned wheels with proper ball bearings in. Right, Dowtree just closing in on the back of the group. Ethan Grimshaw just off the back as we run alongside the edge of the Abbey there. Not that there's an Abbey there in real life, but you know, this is Yorkshire. We've got Cistercian Abbeys all over the place, just not necessarily there. We're allowed Swift a little bit of license when it comes to Yorkshire, it has to be said, because they've included some of our best bits, not necessarily in exactly where they live, but you know, what can we say then? If you had as many treasures as Yorkshire has, you want to get as many in as possible. Right, looks like Ian Brooks sitting in here. Good to see Brooks in the group. He's riding strongly now. Brooks is a strong rider. He's one of our slightly bigger riders. Not got the same mass as somebody like the Fat Cyclist, who I haven't seen in action today. That is not Bolton Abbey, not in a month of Blue Sundays. Bolton Abbey does not live at the side of Harrogate. It might be a representation of Bolton Abbey. I've never been posh enough to be able to pay to go into Bolton Abbey. I always had to go to the Strid instead. Excuse me whilst I have a nosy at Bolton Abbey in the background. Bolton Abbey's a lot further out. I'm sure it's in a place somewhere near Nesbury. In fact, I know exactly where it is because I've ridden past it on far too many occasions on the Wharfdale run, on the Buckton run. So yeah, Pseudo's Fountains Abbey, this one. So we've got a choice. You've got Fountains Abbey, that's near Ripon and Knaresborough on the edge. We've got which is on the Otley Reliability Run. We've also got bids in for Bolton Abbey. Bolton Abbey isn't in Bolton. Wouldn't let the Lancastrians have it. Bolton Abbey is on the wharf, just below the Strint side of Embassy Moor. Very, very nice as it is as well. Great stepping stones. It is just part of the scenery. How did Sonia miss the Abbey first time round? Come on, Sonia. Now, enough of the scenery. We're coming up to Struggle Corner. Struggle, of course, one of our partners in the end of January. Doing a great job with the Struggle giveaway, and great to see them in action. Just watching a number of riders pushing up really quite quickly here through the group. I think Chris Iredale on his way back into the pack after just taking a little bit of a stop. So Chris from Veloskin doing the business here, just alongside Charlie Babbitt. You could just throw some out your back pocket, Chris, at him. One of our winners there on the way past. So into the run down, in with one of our lightest riders here, young Zach Hutchinson. Now Zach in that GB kit is only 10, but he's one of the lightest riders. Now this is a massive advantage when it comes to the uphill section. The downside is that when you're on the downhill, it doesn't work that way, and you will get distance very easily. You've got to be very careful to try and stay in the group. And it's one of the things that we've been noticing a lot more, because we've been doing a lot more varied circuits. We always try and change them and mix them up. So heading on down, just a nice group sitting around Russ at the moment. Ian Bibby in that group at the moment. Kirkham in there. Wallace is in this group as well. Just in with Hardy. Looks like Gurnhill just about holding the back of the bunch. Come on, mate, time to push on. You're not going to get in the pack if you let it go at this stage. You need the pace to stay with them. And just taking a look behind, I think it's Woodall about 3 seconds behind is the nearest rider. Gurnhill's just pushing in towards the group. You can see because the riders behind drop out, you can't see them when they're not on the screen, because it's the nearest 100 riders, and that is in any direction from the rider we're following. Let's jump in with Woodall. So Woodall was the man who was chasing on hard to get onto the back of the group. Now he's been working hard, and Woodall's going to be up onto the climb already. Russ onto the climb as well. Gurnhill just in front, and we're just going to drop in with Gurnhill at the moment as he goes up onto this steep section. And you can see just how steep this is, because he's out of the saddle here, and you can see really is having to push a big gear here at 15% at this point. Remember, of course, fellow viewer gave us a 13.8 of that section, but we know it gets steeper as you come round the right hand turn in real life. As you come piling down the other way in the road race, this is where everybody bails it over the bridge by mistake and over the wall and into the farmer's field below. It's a long way down. I only saw that happen twice. Well, I didn't ride it all that often if I could help it. So let's see how many riders we can get over the climb. Looks like a big bunch pretty much all together. It's currently at 23k. So Gurnhill just trying to chase onto the back wheel of Emma Lysick Ennis. Looks like Lovell not all that far up the road now. Lovell is definitely going to be one of our bigger riders with an avatar that looks much like mine, actually. Yeah, definitely. Hug-like arms, which is no use when you're going uphill. Don't I know it? So on this section, you just see Lovell sitting on the wheel here of Lysick Ennis, just coming alongside. A lighter rider does have a definite advantage on this section of climb, and they're just starting to lose contact on the back of that group. Looks like these riders just pushing on in front as it tips over the top. That's when the pace will pick up. But remember, we've got this long gradual climb up here at the moment as we go past the edge of the wall here. Looks like Lovell just trying to push that pace up a little bit to get onto the back wheel of Smith, who's currently sitting on the back of the group. So this trio of riders are the riders in danger. Wharfdale Phil pushing on. Edgar's coming onto the back wheel as well. And as these 4 riders come together just on their way past the gates here, just making the way up, it looks like Kirkham just starting to lose touch, and Smith with that group just in with Smith at the moment. Behind is Kirkham. So Kirkham going back to join that group behind Kirkham. I think he's out of touch here. Smith is pushing on here. He's going to go past the Reed, I think, at some pace here. He's going to try and get back into the group. He cannot afford to let that group go as he moves his way up in and past these riders. So just going past Ethan Grimshaw. Grimshaw needs to push on here as well. He's going to lose the wheel if he's not careful. So up past Mark he goes, up on to the wheels here of Nunn. Bob the Builder, Joe Jarvis just being passed here. I think he's going to get back into this group. Good wheel to watch because we get to see the riders coming back in to the front. And this is when you can see the gaps will open up. You've got to push all the way over the top. Looks like Hall just in front. That's Sheldon Hall just in the group here. Sheldon, of course, with the BMX on his tag, a key mountain biker as well, but fast moment on the Chaingang. But at the moment, the pace is opening up. Looks like License in here. So Gary License, one of our regulars on the Chaingang as well. Sorry, Gareth License is in here. Gareth, of course, a member of the DCG gang, and has been active on the Chaingang. Great to see him back in action, just trying to push his way back into the back of that group. But if you take a little bit of a look back behind, you can see there are groups falling behind now. Is Sheldon going to get into this group? I think this is going to be James and Sheldon and License all together. A group of 3 working to try and close that gap down. It's currently about 4 seconds just in with Taylor, who is just off the back of that group. So Wallace and Taylor being chased. You can see that group are coming behind. Taylor now being distanced. Remember, as it gets quicker, as we go over the top, that is when we're going to start to see the gaps reopening up once again. And we're heading in for the next lap being complete. Just seeing these groups all starting to get split out a little bit here. Just checking in with Ian Bibby's just a little off the back. Looks like Kai Davis sitting potentially just on the back of this group here. Just going onto the back wheel of Millie Skinner. Good to see Millie back in here, back on home turf in Yorkshire. Albeit riding across in Cornwall. Hope the trip's going well. So Skinner now on her way down past the back of this group. Billy, of course, very talented rider, and jumping into the back of the pack with Russ here. So just jumping back in with Russ. Apologies for the slight break in transmission there, because that is quite simply just Indy the Trail Dog, who some of you may remember from being injured earlier in the winter, is back up and running quite literally, and decided to sitting down here watching the screen. He'd had enough of watching bike riders for a bit. He was going to go find a real life bike rider and head out the doors. So headed out the studio. If only I could get him to make me a brew of coffee. Don't forget, of course, we've got the new Yellow Beacon blend of coffee going out to the DCG gang members. Special discounted price for DCG gang members. They get first bite of the cherry, in this case the first grind of the beans, and it is very good. I've had some, and remember, it is on offer to the members of the DCG gang. Now, as Craig Herring says, an expert is Adi Dench. Adi Dench's instructions are definitely do as I say, not as I do instructions. And Adi, of course, the master of juggling, some massive miles done by him on his Land's End to John O'Groats trip. So the riders are diving down. Remember, we're nearly 2 laps complete. We've got a huge group. And contrary to popular rumours, there's not actually very many people been off the front. They all know that it's just going to get really nuts as soon as we get into the turn. So great to see so many people. Remember, there's a lot of riders now behind this, just being naturally distanced as the pace has got quicker and quicker. This is a really fast group. Looks like Riley in here. Pete Harris is in this, Russ in here, of course, and that's who we're riding with at the moment. In Bale in here. So looking good at the moment, just riding in with Russ down in this group coming down. They're going to take that left-hand turn as the pack comes in. So it looks like this group is being looked after to at least the finish line, which is round the corner, not too far to go. It is one of our best packs, so Russ just letting everybody know on screen that he's just wanting to just hold it together a little bit longer. Yeah, he's being kind tonight. I think that is quite simply because it has been so brutal. And the group all holding together really well here. They've got some real names in this group, and good to see Mr. Gibbons is in here, Millie in here. Just seeing Bennett in here, Oxenham, Osman, McWiggins in here, Learmouth, Pritchard, the real who's who. And I suspect a number of people just being picked up on their way around and getting lapped now by this group containing a Russ, such is the pace that they're going. 28.8k covered now as they've come through the line on this very fast descent here in Harrogate. And the riders now onto the big drop down. You can just see the course coming back in the opposite direction. This hill in real life is horrible. In fact, they're all horrible around it. I hate hills. Did I ever say that before? I do. I really hate hills. That comes from a man who rode 13 national hill climbs in a row. I must have been mental. Well, that and skinny and only weighed like 10 stone, not 13 and a bit. So as our drone goes through the section of the building there, just alongside where the big buildings for the cycle show used to be. We're just up over the top of this pack with Russ in here, just approaching the 30k mark here, and just rolling the speed along on this section. Going to take that left-hand turn at the moment, and around the corner. Our camera's hopefully going to cut through the building and get around to where we want to be. Just keeping an eye. Looks like Chris Idell in this pack for Veloskin. And remember, if you're not sitting comfortably at the moment, why not? You need to get some Veloskin products. If you join the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club, the DCG gang, you can make sure that you lay your hands on those free samples, including all of the postage. And we've got giveaways as well. We've got more giveaways coming out on Thursday. Don't forget, of course, 3 winners already from the DCG gang, members of the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club. They're the guys that mean that we bring you the ride. If you're on the ride and enjoying the ride, don't forget you can join the gang. It's £20 for the month, and that gets you access with all of the links the moment that they come out. Now Russ has got the go the go has gone, and who is going to go and who is going to be no. It is the time to find out. And just keeping an eye on the front. Looks like Boss looking here. Look at the power-ups coming now as everybody wants to be up the road. Who is going to make it? Russ is pushing on here. He's currently at 8 watts per kilo. He's going to look and have a hunt to see where everyone is. We're going to stay up in the sky with our drone cam at the moment as he tries to make his way up in amongst them now. This is where we get to see now. Coleman, we know, was sitting on the wheels. They're just keeping it nice and steady. So Coleman is the man. So it looks at the moment like Coleman leading this group out. So Coleman are leading a rider on his way up this climb, looking good as he comes through. And Coleman in the lead. Now, any riders he's catching, basically we're away from the yellow beacon group, so we won't be including them in any of the finishing times as they went off and distanced the leading group. So out of contention. So Coleman just being passed here. Gilmore now our leading rider out on course. So it's Gilmore now in the front of the group here. So Gilmore leading at the moment. It's Gilmore number 1, Coleman 2, Lamb in 3, Kai Davis in 4, Dowtree in 5, Bostock in 6. These are the guys who are sat with our leader on the way through. Remember, when that goes, you've got to be in with that yellow beacon group. If you're out in front, if you've ridden off the front, if you've had tech issues, or you just don't want to ride with the yellow, that's really simple. Come the winter, we won't be seeing you full stop. That's really easy. Watch this space for developments, but just keeping an eye here. Now, Lamb just moving up on to the front. Lamb was hard on the attack as they came. As Russ said that, go, go, go. He was the man who we were sat with, and we saw him working with that group. And it looks like Lamb, Dowtree, Davis are in there. Looks like Briggsy's just made his way in that group as well. This is the leading group as they come through, riding in with Lamb at the moment, and they're pushing it onto the climb. Now we're in with Coleman at the moment, because Coleman is our leading rider. Is just pushing in to this group at the moment, and you can just see everybody is sat in this pack as they come up on to the front. Now you can ignore anybody sat in front. So Sawyer, Varty, Lawson, Reed, Airy and Hall all definitely not part of that pack. As we ride in with the riders now. Just keeping an eye on them as they come into the group at the moment. So let's stay with Coleman now. The rider in front definitely has been in the orange, was in with the group as they released the go, go, go. So it's been riding in with that pack. Coleman in here as well. We're sitting with Coleman because we know he's a sure-fire rider to be in at the kill. And we'll watch him on his way in and through. So apologies for any pauses in commentary. Quite simply just keeping the evidence for later of those riders who did go off down the road. Remember, of course, come the winter, this we will be operating a policy which will remove those riders from the ride. Watch this space for details. So Coleman, our leading rider on the climb, pushing on here and looking good at the moment. So Coleman up over the top of the climb, and suspect Coleman is going to set a new fastest time. He has 2 minutes dead, pretty much 2:00.7. So Coleman setting the fastest men's time. Now, who's going to set the fastest women's time? Sarah Lomas. We told you to keep an eye out for her. She was the rider we expected to do well on this course. A 2:11 is an incredibly fast time up there as well. She can't be far off some of these times for the KOMs on the way through. Now leading riders at the moment. Coleman going hard here. Looks like we've seen a few riders just pushing on through, and that was Riley who's just gone through hard there. So Riley at the moment leading this group out. Again, another rider who is sat in with Russ now up at the front of the ride here. So it's Riley who is rolling around, but look, the group's coming quick here. Now that pack is coming in well. Good to see these riders who were playing by the game are sat in this group, but it is a very fast group now in with Kai Davis here. This is the leading group. These are the guys who have got the pace to take this out. Ignore 2 riders in front because they're not in this group. They are Dead pixels, I think, was the phrase used by somebody. There they go. As we watch our riders on to the climb here. So Gilmore looking good. Coleman up near the front. Simon Oxenham. Now we know Oxenham will have been in the group. We're just riding with Gilmore here. Now Gilmore, the youngster, definitely one to watch on this because he is a lightweight and a very fast rider. Just alongside Coleman there. Let's drop onto the other side if we can get a quick view of Gilmore. Gilmore working well, but look who's pushing on to the front. The man is mad. It is Bostock. Currently riding on the mountain bike. The man is a fruitcake. He absolutely is. This is how to get a serious workout, that is for sure. And shows the class of Bostock as he pushes on now. It does make a huge difference riding the mountain bike on the tarmac, that is for sure, on Swift. Bostock having to push out 8.5 watts per kilo, but Coleman sitting with him at about 2 watts per kilo less. And we said Coleman was an aggressive rider. He was the rider we're going to watch come through this packet again. They've distanced people behind, and it looks like Gilmore's been able to go with Coleman. So it is Coleman on the front here. He's got Bostock with him and Gilmore. Those are the riders leading the ride out at the moment and are putting in some serious pace. Bostock goes back onto the front in that Canyon colours. It's Gilmore. Lamb's coming hard behind, and looks to me like Lamb is going to do a good ride here as Davis comes through. So Davis working his way up here. So Davis now goes on to the front now. This is a group of 5. Who's coming behind? Well, the Yellowbeaker's not all that far behind. They've got to hold this pace as they come on to the climb. So it is going to be Davis, Lamb, Bostock, Gilmore in here. It is the group that you see on your screens. These are our 5 leaders at the moment on the descent down. The chase is on behind, that second pack behind. Those are the chasers behind. They're at 3 seconds. I think it's about 5 seconds behind. But it is going to be Davis who's going to come through leading this group out. Look at this, that whole pack have closed them down. So Group 2 have caught Group 1 here. The question is, who is going to take this out? Is it going to be a Jimmy Allen day? Is it going to be Allen of the Stellaton who's going to take this? Jimmy, of course, one of our riders who we know will sit in with the yellow beacon at the moment. We're just taking a little bit of a look. So in with Riley at the moment. They're all trying to push hard here. Just sitting in with young Gilmore. Gilmore, of course, one of the favourites when it comes up onto the climb. He's put in the power up at the moment. We're going to ride in with Davis at the moment. So remember, Davis is our leading rider now. Now, Davis was alongside Russ pretty much when that go went. He's on the front of the group at the moment. Then it is going to be Coleman, and then Bostock again. He's pushing on. Now, they can't afford to let Bostock go. Is anybody going to answer this? Bostock is going to start to struggle at some point on that mountain bike, particularly as the pace goes up on the downhill in, and Davis is closing down now. Kai Davis is, you've got to remember, one of our super fast riders when it comes to the cyclocross. Seen him in action riding the mountain bike as well. He is a really fast rider and looking really, really good at the moment. But the gap is nothing at the minute. You've got Gilmore behind, you've got Coleman behind, you've got Lamb. Bostock in there working hard as well. Looks like Riley's in the group. It is really tight together, but this is our leading 3. Now, we saw Davis, Coleman and Gilmore. They were the riders who went to the front last time. They're the riders who have come back up on to the front once again. These are the guys who are leading this out. They're the guys who've gone from that yellow beacon group and have pushed on, and Davis is again pushing. So let's see where they're going to end up at the moment. Just leaving Gilmore behind a little bit is Davis. Davis has got, he's pushing 6.9 watts per kilo, just going up over the top there. That's some wattage behind you. You just see Gilmore coming round the side of Coleman, and distance is running out for these riders. Remember, it's 3 laps round the circuit, and we're going to take that left-hand turn. You can see up on your screen, and it's Davis who's got the gap, but look behind. They are in 1s and 2s behind, so it is going to be at the moment Gilmore in 2, Coleman in 3, Lamb in 4. Just keeping an eye on this now. It is Mr. Briggs behind. That's his Andy Briggs of Matlock sitting behind, and we know Andy's a fearsome runner when it comes to hilly routes, living in Matlock. The question is he going to be able to stay with these guys as the sprint comes in? Now, I'm not sure where Briggsy was on the way through. I know Andrew definitely knows the how the rules of play, but he's looking like he is joined late at 30k on the clock. It could be that he's got distances that have been lapped on the way around, which is going to be very unfortunate for him indeed. But there you go. Means he's got another lap to do if that's the if he hasn't. If he's been lapped, he's got another lap. But this is the man doing the business at the moment. So it is Davis who is leading this out at the moment. He's got the front. Gilmore is coming behind. He's working hard. You can just see Briggs from Matlock trying to close that gap down in the yellow and black. Then it's Gilmore. Then it's Lamb. Then it's Coleman. And then it's Bostock. Now, can Bostock get back in? Remember, this man has won crit after crit after crit. But if he gets back into the group, can he do it on a mountain bike? That would be a phenomenal feat as they come in and through. So at the moment, it looks to me like they're back in. Bostock is working his socks off behind at the moment. Davis having to kick on here. If we take a look back from Davis, you can see Bostock working out of the saddle there, trying to kick as hard as he can to get back into this group as Davis comes up towards the front here. So look at that, Bostock's got back in with that group. Phenomenal ride by Bostock to join this group at the moment. The question is, who's got the power to kick on out of this group, just riding up above them at the moment. So we have Bostock on the mountain bike, wide arms, dark blue. In the orange, that is going to be Davis, who's just come up on to the front. We're just riding with Davis as we come on to this section of a climb. And as you can see, quickly onto his wheels comes Gilmore. So here they are up on to what is the final rise before the descent to the finish. And at the moment, it is Gilmore, Bostock, Lamb and Davis all together as they come up on to the climb. Sitting on the back is Briggs, but it is Gilmore who's got the gap at the moment behind. Bostock's working hard to try and keep it closed down, but the line will come very quickly once we get round that left-hand turn. But you've got to make the left-hand turn. This rise is easing off now. 4%, 3% coming. Here we go. It's dropping down 2%. He's over the top. There are two riders together. Gilmore and Bostock are now together on the top of the climb. And Bostock doing this on a mountain bike. He's on a serious ride at the moment. Gilmore has the advantage in terms of bikes. The youngster, is this going to be his first win? I think, in fact, he might actually have won before. We've done so many Donny Chaingangs now from lockdown 1 right the way through. But these are our two leaders as they come in to the finish. They've now got a gap of 10 seconds on Davis, Briggs and Lamb. So this is where the lead, the win is going to come from. One of these two riders is going to take the win. Remember, anybody who was out the front of the lead group, the lead group is, of course, Russ's Yellow Beacon group at the Go 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 is discounted from the commentary and from where we regard as being the finish. There's no kudos for going off the front and blowing the group apart, that is for sure. And at the moment, our group obviously respected that. Most of the group staying together. Gilmore doing the business here and looking superb as he goes up onto the front. He doesn't want to do too much too soon. They're holding Briggs and Co. currently at 8 seconds. This is the chasing group at the moment. They're at 7 seconds now. Let's get up in the air with that drone cam. You can just see just underneath the name at the top there. It's coming down now. It's at 5 seconds. They're going to get caught here. They're going to get caught napping. They can't afford to ease off the pressure too much. Gilmore is in danger here. So is Bostock. It's down at 4 seconds. The gap's closing. It's coming right down. Everybody else is 50 seconds behind. This is going to be a 5-up run for the finish here. Who's going to get the sprint if it comes to a sprint between these guys? Davis has looked good. Lamb has been sat in here. He's not been doing too much as Gilmore gives it another kick as they get caught here. Gilmore's coming onto the wheel. So let's ride in who's going to be your money on at the moment. We're going to ride in with Gilmore. Whether that's going to be a good move or not, it's going to be proven as we come round this corner. So up in the air we go. Gilmore at the moment sitting in the dead centre with the pink wheels, just moving up alongside here. The gantry is going to come very, very quickly indeed. Here he comes. It is going to be Gilmore leading it out. Gilmore's going for this. It's going to be Gilmore who takes it. Gilmore comes through, so Gilmore takes the win. Then it is going to be Briggs, Lamb, Davis and Bostock in that order as they come through the line. This is the chasing back behind, and I think this is going to be Coleman's to take. Here he comes. Coleman has come flying out of the pack. So the leading riders are in now. It's going to be Coleman. Coleman is absolutely nailing it now. So Kai Davis, read your instructions. We always finish at a fixed point, and that fixed point is the lap banner. Instructions always come on the page that you signed on with, that you accepted the terms and conditions, my son. It's a learning process, is the Donny Chaingang. Right, next group coming through. Brown coming through. Looks like Jimmy Allen just coming in to the finish here. So just watching Jimmy come in to the line. Mr. Gilmore, congratulations, young man. An absolutely storming ride going from the group now. Jimmy Allen just being passed here by Oxenham. I don't think Jimmy's going to sprint. I'm not sure if Jimmy actually has a sprint. I'm not sure I've ever seen Jimmy sprint. I've ridden against him plenty of times, and he's a very fast man indeed. You won't want to take him on in real life, that is for sure. So just dropping back to Russ, who's going to be our next rider in through the line here. And Russ working well there. So Russ coming in on the Pinarello, the yellow beacon coming through underneath the gantry. We'll give him chance to get his breath back as we're going to go across to our first female finisher. Our first female finisher is going to be Sarah Lomas. Slow mass she isn't, because she's absolutely demolished the opposition today. She's our first woman through the line, setting all of the records. She's got the lap time, she's got the climb and the sprint jersey. An absolutely phenomenal ride by Sarah. Sarah, I will buy you a cup of tea. You know I hate it, but I will get you a cup of tea. Just behind, I think Jess Rides Bikes coming through for second female on the ride today. So good to see Jess back in, the former national hill climb champion, doing a great ride as she came in and through, just working her way through. I think it's going to be Manon Lloyd taking the third place female spot today. So Lloyd from GCN taking third place. Looks like Chris Iredale come through to finish. Great ride by Chris, and a massive thank you to Veloskin. We're just going to work back to the guys behind. Hetson just coming through, taking that from Tristan from Harrogate on home ground. And as you can see, riders coming through thick and fast. Fletcher here going to bring home this group. The Donny Chaingang Supporters Club rider in that. We're just going to drop back down. Liam Calloway in this group, going to be trying to push into the finish. Cornish in this group as well. In ninth in here, Conor McWigan, I think Conor's just coming in as well to finish. Good ride by him. Hawkins as well. Eddie Dench in here. Eddie, of course, member of the DCG, the Donny Chaingang Supporters Club, the DCG gang. And good to see Eddie come in and through a little bit quicker to ride today. It looks like Louis in here. Louis riding, of course, and looks like Louis, one of our Veloskin riders, on his way through. So Matt Gilmore winning tonight. Gilmore taking the 15-year-old, taking the 5-way sprint for the line, doing the business tonight, and putting in a fantastic ride from that Yellow Beacon group into the finish, as we see Howis and Chapel go in and through. Beth Crumpton's going to come through, and I think Beth is going to be the fourth of our female riders in and across the line. So Beth coming through, setting a new personal best. Looks like Kieran Ross doing the same. Ross Rob Wimble doing the same. Riders coming through thick and fast. Leach is going to come through, just chased there, I think, by Woodbridge to the line. Millie Skinner's going to take 5th female rider in and across the line today. Just coming through, sprinting into the finish. Looks like Paul Coleman coming through. Mr. Taylor is on his way in. Andy Hall's putting a sprint into the finish here. You always rely on Andy to sprint that Pinarello into the finish here. Hey man, he's worked on as many finishes as I've had hot dinners, I think, in my lifetime, pretty much. Doing the business once again. Don't forget to watch out for Andy, of course, on the Antiques Roadshow. No, he didn't take Mick along as an exhibit. Right, on his way in, Killingsworth comes in underneath the gantry. Let's jump back to Charlie Babbitt, one of our winners of the Veloskin goodies tonight, along with Ewan McLeod and Keith Richards, and doing the business. A fantastic ride by Charlie today. And mate, you can have some of that soothing gel soon. It's going to be in there. And remember, it works real good. I can guarantee that for a fact. For me, it was amazing. Next in, let's keep an eye. It is going to be the man from 1080. Watch out in April, because here comes the sun. Is going to be coming indeed, and it's all thanks to this man, Ian Taylor from 1080. Remember, support the people who support your sport. You want Oakleys, you want shade, you want something to sit on the beach in. You know, you remember those things that we used to be able to go to once upon a time. This man can sort you out, as well as, of course, some great riding glass as well. Got to say, my Radar EV's absolutely superb off-road and on. As we're just watching our next riders coming through, and you can see the volume of personal best coming in here. Ted coming through just ahead of Priester and Diamouth. It looks like Learmouth on his way in here. So trying to chase Holmes from Bolsover. Let's see if we can just jump up a little bit. Holmes just going up on to the front on the way into the gantry. Dyson, I think, going to push past on that last push for the gantry. Oh no, look at that. Holmes is not letting him go. He's not giving that away. Good sprint there. Great timing. Wait until he thinks you're not going for it, then go. Fantastic stuff. Then it's going to be Learmouth, then Bishop. Ian Bibby on his way in. Bibby's seen plenty of finish lines, that is for sure. The former national champion making his way in. And good to see Ian on the Chaingang once again. Just riding in there with Langmead. So Langmead just going to come alongside. I think just as it comes through the gantry, that it's going to be Wallace who's going to get popped here. And I think it's going to be Bob the Builder who's going to get this. Colin Bell pushing all the way. But I think that was indeed Bob the Builder. Then Beefy from Sackways down top. Is coming in that group. Waller in there as well. Looks like Gibson coming through. And a good ride by Gibson once again. Mason coming through the line. We're just going to drop back to Sykes. Is in and through. Let's see how far we need to drop for our next riders. Taylor's in, so that may well be Hardy's going to be our next rider. Then it's going to be Charles. So Hardy's going to be the next to finish. Then it's going to be Charles being chased to the line by Scotland. Scotland on the wheels here. Scotland could well go around the outside here. He's going to get this as they come in to the line. So Scotland just pushes on for the line. You see the watts per kilo going up to over 4 just to take that. Snick it on the line. Alexander going to be the next rider in. And good sprint for the finish. 6 seconds behind is going to be Kane from Cardiff. Try. So Kane, the next rider through. Then it's going to be Sadler, who's in ahead of Hall and Lovett, who've got the potential of a 2-up sprint between them. So Sadler should be able to keep that gap to the line, so don't relax too much. This is going to be Lovett, who's got the distance on Hall here. Hall working hard, just keeping a nice. Sadler's going to get through here, but then it's Lovett, and Lovett going to hold off Hall, I think, up at 8.8 watts, 9.4 watts per kilo. Hall's trying to respond, but even with his sprinting legs, they're not going to be there. So the next rider is going to be Scales. Scales coming through the line, and another of our female finishers. It's going to be just clear of James. James, of course, one of our fantastic regular riders on the DCG gang, on the Donny Chaingang. And great to see her making her way in. Sonia Inslee, our next rider, heading for the finish. Sonia, no stranger to hills, and regular out in the Peak District. Won't be long, Sonia, so we can go to Fuel and grab a coffee. That is for sure. Is she going to hold off Wharfdale Phil? Phil's coming hard. Sonia's seen this. Sonia's got a good kick. Is she going to have enough to hold him? Oh, just getting pipped there as Wharfdale Phil comes in and through the line there. Next up is going to be Gareth License making his way down to the line. I think it's got 11 seconds back to Joe Jarvis. That's a good size gap. Now, we will go to Russ in a little bit. Just going to try and bring as many of our riders in. I suspect we're going to have a decent gap of about 3 or 4 riders' time. As we see Gareth License making his way in underneath the line. Good ride, Gareth. Ahead just of Joe Jarvis. Joe just sitting just clear here of Mac. So Joe just a little bit of a kick up to keep those watts per kilo up. Then it's going to be Mac coming through. Goodbye by Mac. Then it's going to be Dick Samuel. So Dick, well done. Good ride, mate. And that means, in theory, we've got a little bit of time. We're going to try and jump in with Russ. Hi, Russ. How you doing?
Good, mate. Good.
That was pretty brutal, but vast majority of people were together at that point when the go went. It was amazing to see. And young Matt Gilmore, who'd been, I think, glued to your back wheel pretty much the entire ride, managed to jump away and was looking so strong on the climbs. I'm surprised he had any sprinting legs left whatsoever.
Yeah, it's just working it out, you know. I think it was a better course to keep it together. There was no sort of sharp downhills where you got off the power. It was gradual, and then, you know, that running was a great running for, will they stay away, will we get them back? And the steepness of the climb, you can only get up at a certain speed, so it was definitely hurting, but it was a great control workout. You know, every lap just got harder and harder, and then it exploded on the last lap. So I'm pretty happy with that. You know, it was a solid, I think, well over 200 watts for a ride, so it's going.
It is indeed, and a good course, and we will. It'll be interesting to see whether we're back again, or maybe that is when we are back again, because we always like courses that are tough and ones that are in, but of course it is a very tough and very long course, so it is balanced out this week, isn't it, on Veloskin week here on the Donny Chaingang, with Thursday's route, which is kind of like the opposite.
Yeah, you know, there'll be no sliding out the back on the motorway bridge on that. You know, it's like I think Adam Blythe on there on Thursday might actually get round. You know, his commentary on the old Eurosport, he's been whinging on that he'd get out the back on the motorway bridge, so he could even get round on Tempest Fugit, I think.
Indeed, 3 laps of Tempest Fugit, and it is a very fast group ride on there, and the draft is going to be everything. And the moment you lose the draft, you might as well forget it, hadn't you?
Yeah, I think it's like tonight, you know, 3 laps, it works really well. 1 lap steady, 1 lap a little bit more squeeze it, and then 1 lap Eel Dares wins. So it'll be the same. So hopefully, as I mean, it's kind of hard to build these circuits, these routes, you know, so we have a banner and a finish line, but we're getting some great routes and courses in the DCG book now. So yeah, it's all good.
It is, and it's great to see so many riders. Just seeing Mark Grant sprinting in, and Mark, of course, was a rider who was struggling for the very first few rides. I mean, I know he's off the back and sitting in with the red beacon, now looking incredibly strong in that sprint at the finish, and that's after all those hills around Yorkshire.
Yeah, it's like a sprinter when they go to the hills on a stage race. You know, the first few days they're getting spat first off, and then he slowly slides up and gets dropped like 15th to 20th on the climb. So yeah, they'll soon be in with a decent sized group. You know, he'll be knocking up to the Andy O's group or something next, and he'll be having a right laugh.
I would imagine, yeah, definitely. I'd imagine that Thursday could be a good day for him. With that lack of hills, it is all about watts rather than watts per kilo. So it does help if you're a big, powerful rider, and does suit a number of riders. But lots of new riders. We've still got plenty of people out round circuit. And it does mean that, of course, you see plenty of chance to get some coverage as well here on Veloskin Week, here on the Down Cycling YouTube channel. So, Russ, recovery from OTE, because I know you were listening during Annie's talk from OTE for the members of the DCG gang.
And definitely a bit of chamois cream and a bit of soothing gel and everything today. I've had a double day on the bike, so yeah, it's probably taken its toll today. I'm going to Really using those sponsors to the max tonight, you know.
And that's what it's all about. You don't have to be a professional rider to take advantage of all of these, pro level products. You know, if you're a member of the Donny Chaingang supporters club, it's there for everybody, and it obviously helps keep the show on the road and the wheels turning, doesn't it?
Keep the show on the road, and it helps you guys as well. You know, you look after your body, you recover, and you can go again. So that's what it's all about, isn't it? You know.
Definitely. Well, it certainly worked for me at the weekend. Three races in 2 days was a bit of the stupid side, but managed to crank the old body through it with the aid of Veloskin and lots of OTE products. And our riders need to recover now, just the same, because Thursday's going to be fast. So, Russ, we'll let you get some recovery. I know you'll be out on the bike tomorrow, and we'll catch up with you soon.
Yeah, no sympathy, mate. You know, racing, sign up for racing, pin a number on you. Signed up, so you've got to take the pain.
That's the one. Some of us might say we enjoy it. It's all in the name. Cheers, Russ. See you soon.
Good night.
So great to hear from Russ as Emma Lysacre Ennis comes through to finish the World's Gantry in the background there, and doing the business out on course, and fantastic stuff from Emma. And Emma, of course, a member of the Donny Chaingang supporters club as well. Behind it is going to be Macmillan. So Macmillan coming through, being chased to the line by David Hopkinson. Good to see David in action. I'm sure David's already signed up for his free samples, including the free postage from the guys from Veloskin. As Hopkinson comes in and through underneath the gantry behind. These are our next two riders out on course. This is going to be Rich Shade and Martin Bolts. So there are next two riders out on course, looking good, and both experienced riders on the Donny Chaingang, and good to see both in action now. Martin Bolt, of course, a member of the DCG gang, and Martin been helping us from the start. Great to see him still riding. Of course, Martin was a long time Red Beacon, but our Red Beacon is somebody who we haven't seen much of today because it's been absolutely frantic. So let's jump in with Johnny Two Dogs. I think Johnny doing a fantastic job here. He's been a bit of an unsung hero today due to the action at the front, and just behind is Mushet here. So the two riders, they're just behind Tickle. Tickle about 10 seconds in front, and they should just about be able to see going over the rise in front, maybe just a little bit too far in front. So it is Johnny Two Dogs we're just riding with now. So these riders looking like they're on that descent in. They've got the big climb just to come, just in with Mushet in the moment. So Richard looking good as they come over this little rise. They've got one more drop and then into the climb. And I think that is Tickle in the blue just in front there. So they're going to be seeing him just come round the corner. And that is the beginning of the climb coming up. Tickle just going on to this section. So this is on to the climb. Kuzak over the top of the climb and heading in towards the finish. We're just seeing Bolt on his way in. So Bolt and Shade are going to be the riders on their way in and through. We're going to drop back to Vicia, who's on her way round the corner. So good to see Bolt finishing the Shade, also finishing. Then it's going to be Kuzak. So Kuzak, Vicia, Kuzak going to be our next rider into the finish at the moment. And again, another rider who's in from the start, a member of the Donny Chaingang supporters club, the DCG gang, and Vicia doing a great job today, coming in to the barriers here on the Donny Chaingang and underneath the lap gantry here in Harrogate, the site of the World Championships, of course. Now, let's take a bit of a drop back to our riders out on course, to Tickle, Mushet, and to Johnny Two Dogs out on course. So let's follow these guys that come up onto this steep section climb. So they are round the hairpin bend, that horrible 17% section if you get the wrong part. It is 13% on the average section round the hairpin and onto this steep section here. It is definitely tough stuff, and you see the guys working really hard here. 177 beats a minute from Mushet. Tickle at 123 at the moment, trying to keep it nice and smooth. Johnny Two Dogs at 120, and Johnny just just doing a little bit of an out of saddle workout there because I just saw the rest per minute at about 30. That is definitely going to be some serious strength training on this hill. So Tickle, the leader of the 3 at the moment, up on to the climbing. Great to see him in action out here. Musher and Johnny Two Dogs doing the business. It's already starting to get messages in on Instagram, on Facebook, and on Twitter. Don't forget you can follow me. That's at MattFixerPain on all of the social media platforms. Give us a follow, give us a like, give us a follow on the Zwift as well. Do actually head on to it every now and then and give us a ride on, because generally I've been needing some motivation. One man who doesn't need much motivation, who's always quick, and that is Kieran Brown. And Kieran getting an FTP increase tonight on the mountain bike round that course. I'm not surprised it was a tough night, mate. That is for sure. So the guys are looking good out here. Tickle looking good out on the course as well. And the guys doing a great job out there, has to be said. They're well up here. And that gap now at about 7 seconds, but not insurmountable by any stretch of the imagination. This is Richard on the climb. Nice shoes, mate. Not sure they go with the socks, but it's an interesting combination, that's for sure. Don't rely on me for fashion sense, it has to be said. So Musher now up over the top of the steep section, and Tickle just stretching the lead out a little bit here. He's going to be able to see the riders behind. Remember that red beacon visible from a long way off that pillar into the sky. Same with the yellow beacon, of course, but Russ now hitting the OT products, some recovery, as well as, of course, making sure he gets those legs soothed and eased off. Recovery is the most important thing to do afterwards. Remember, guys, you need to be getting those recovery products in as soon as you finish, and then getting ready to be able to ride again. It really is critical for our riders. As they do day after day and week after week. It's all part of being a rider on the Donny Chaingang, and of course our fantastic partners Veloskin, helping everybody to do that on the way out and around circuit. So it looks like Indy Trail just deciding to come back down and to join me once again. And looks like the riders are out and about. So whilst these guys are just out and round, just going to have a little bit of a quick chat with our women's yellow beacon, who is down with us here, because we've got the women's rides coming up. We've got one more ride already planned, which is the RGV route. So Emma, welcome to the studio. Not riding tonight, so good to see you with us. And we've had a great night round Yorkshire. It's been really tough. Our red beacon and our last 3 riders on the way round to the finish. Now, the women's Chaingang's had a real variety of courses. Tell us about the course on Wednesday.
Yeah, good evening, Matt. Evening, everyone. So, Wednesday next week we are at RGV. It's a bit of a mix and match course, which I think is a really nice one. I rode it at the weekend just to refresh my memory. It's a lovely 14k run-in of very flat lands before it gets a bit more rolling. We've got the little aqueduct King of the Mountains. We've got a few sprints along the way, and that wonderful rolling finish to the lap, which is superb, which takes in the Ballon sprint as well, which will be on our second lap, will be our finish line.
So it's not 2 full laps, it's a lap and 3/4-ish, and that means we get to finish at the Ballon Sprint, which is not a normal finish, but this is the advantage, of course, of using a fixed point as a finish. We have 1 or 2 riders tonight, first time out, including the son Kai Davis, who you will remember from riding the Notts and Derby cyclocross. Didn't get the finish right in the leading 5. Missed out on the finish, and that's absolutely critical, isn't it? It pays to do your homework, to work out where the finishes are on there, have the commentary going, of course, and I always give it away where we're going to finish, let's face it, and of course in the members email that comes out to the DCG gang.
Definitely, and I think actually finishing at that Ballon Sprint will be really good. I reminded myself of it, as I said, at the weekend, and I'd forgotten there's a nice little 4% in that sprint coming into the line. So it's a slightly uphill sprint for the finish, and I think that'll be a really nice finish to the laps at RGV.
Well, looking forward to being there. Our riders now on the heading for that final riser before the drop down into Harrogate. And this is a nasty little kicker on the way in. Goes up at 7-8%, just going over the top in the moment. Tickhill just hitting that climb. It's going to allow the riders to come in. So thanks very much to Emma, our yellow beacon for Women's Wednesdays on the Donny Chaingang. Just diving down into the studio and seeing the performances by Tickhill, Johnny Two Dogs, our red beacon, and of course Richard Musher in the group as well. And really good to see so many riders out on circuit today. So Mark Tickhill, Johnny Two Dogs, and to Richard Musher there. So it looks like the guys working well. Just getting a message in from Russ. He's just been speaking to Johnny Two Dogs on the phone, and Johnny really enjoying his day out on the bike as red beacon. And it's one of the things that we love about the Chaingang. Our red beacon duties rotate around the riders, our regular riders volunteering for it, all coordinated by Gail Phillips, who is our spreadsheet supremo, and taking it in turns. And one thing that unites them all is they absolutely love doing it. It is one of the fun parts of the Chaingang, and really does show you the spirit of the Chaingang. That's what it's all about. Our riders are taking turns to get out there and to look after other riders on the way round. Fantastic, and that's what we want to see. I'm glad Johnny's enjoying it. He's definitely a regular out on the Chaingang. So riders coming up to the top of the climb. Tickhill holding them at 10 seconds at the moment. So some good news. Interesting to have a little bit of a chat. We have got some great news for the members. The guys at Veloskin have been, now that they've finished riding the Chaingang, just letting us know that because one of our riders who is a member of the DCG gang, young Ewan McLeod, is actually part of the Canyon team, and of course Canyon and the Ribble squad are both supported by Veloskin. Veloskin are going to look after not only Ewan, but they're going to take the prize, and they're going to also add one. So we're going to have four prizes on the draw on Thursday for our DCG gang members. So it looks like it's going to be 4 prizes on the on Thursday, which is great to see. So even more chances for the members of the DCG gang, and a big thank you to the guys at Veloskin, who have not only going to be looking after Ewan, but they've also going to put another prize in on Thursday for those people who are not already supported. So even better. More prizes to give away for you, and that's what we want to say. And that's why we love working with firms like Veloskin, because they get the sport, they ride the Chaingang, and they know what it all is about. Now, Tickhill pushing on here. He saw that 10-second gap here. He's clearly been using that leg soother somewhere in before today, because he's now opening a gap. It's out at about 37 seconds. You can see now that Musher and Two Dogs not going to see Tickhill. And looks like Musher and Two Dogs, so Johnny and Richard chasing Mark down, but then going to struggle to get him at 38 seconds. And Mark really is pushing the pace, and that will have pretty much ensured that he's going to stay clear on his way through. So at the moment, Mark well on his way in. You can just start to see the chevrons, which is where our riders were held in the pens about an hour and a half ago. Just coming into sight. Remember, the finish is pretty much adjacent to that, so gives you a good indication of just how far Mark has to go. In fact, the gantry coming into sight on the 3D map, top right hand side of your screen. So here on Veloskin week, the tough day, the Tuesday tough day is definitely been tough. It's been some great action and some great riding from our riders, and Tickhill now is going to know all about those 3 laps with the brutal amount of climbing, 720 meters, but there's no more climbing to be done now as Tickhill comes on to the descent to the finish. The gradient is going to pick up. He's going to be able to roll down, and it is going to be Tickhill who's going to be our next rider in through the finish here on the Donny Chaingang with a great ride here. So Mark Tickhill comes to the finish line here in Harrogate at the World Championships, the reverse course of the World Championships, the tougher version, and makes his way in and through, which is going to mean that Musher and Two Dogs are not too far behind here. Here they come. They're going to be round that turn, and they're going to see that gantry in front of them. So as the camera drops down here, Richard Musher and Johnny Lightfoot, Johnny Two Dogs Lightfoot in here and doing the business together, riding in to the finish here on the Donny Chaingang live on the Downing Cycling YouTube channel. It is going to be Richard Mushet who is going to come through in front and taking the honours as he comes in underneath the World Championships gantry. And then it is going to be our fantastic Red Beacon setting a new personal best time on the way round as well. So a massive thank you to Johnny Two Dogs Lightfoot, one of our fantastic members of the DCG gang, one of the key men when it comes to the rides. And of course, good to see him as our Red Beacon. A big thank you to all of our volunteers. So as we let the guys warm down to that blue banner, it just remains for me to say thank you very much for watching. Make sure you join the gang, the DCG gang. You need to be in before 9 o'clock on Thursday if you want to be in that draw, and an extra prize from the fantastic guys at Veloskin. So it's going to be 4, not 3 prizes on Thursday, which is even better. Extra prizes being put in by the Veloskin gang. So thanks for watching. From Russ, from Emma, from myself, Matt Payne here in the studio. We'll see you on Thursday on the Donny Chaingang.